Hello, everyone. I guess we're getting close to spring. Today is March 4th, 2023. I'm joined with Michael here on Skype. And yeah, Michael, we are on the 105th session of the Science is the New Religion script. And I want to thank you for providing us these studies. And I'm looking forward to delving in with you, Michael. So welcome.
Yeah, hello Brett, hello dear listeners out there. Yeah, what to say about the science session 105? This session is called Ye Shall Be as Gods.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, we can also add a subtitle in it. There were giants in these days, and they were the son of God. So gods are playing a big important part in that study here. And I can imagine that some people cannot understand my conclusions. The reason simply is that I'm coming from another country, that I'm coming from another status quo, that I'm reading several books, and so that we all have several different opinions maybe. But in the end, the only truth is Jesus Christ. So therefore, that is what at least I hope so we all have in common, that we believe in Jesus Christ as the only Savior, the only begotten Son of God. So, 105, ye shall be as gods. That is Satan's first lie. That if you do not obey, so that's the summary, Brett, if you do not obey, then you shall be or shall feel yourself as a god. Yeah, so that's the lie. And he also said that, you surely won't die. You don't have to believe me. We can look that up because that's common knowledge, I think, for the people who are really, ye shall not surely die. Yeah, so that was the first lie. You shall not surely die is the first lie. And ye shall be as gods, then close to the second lie. So that's the second lie. That is not the first lie. Haha, this is also incorrect. Oh my. You have to check everything, Brad, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
That's the second lie. So I'm really glad that nobody's accusing me to have a wrong interpretation of the Bible. My. Also, I have to admit that I extremely rarely listen to any sermons. Usually I read the Bible and try to make my conclusions out of that. It's very hard when you have several teachers and they all have another viewpoint, and so where are you? And also, where is your belief in the Holy Spirit when you have to listen to men? It's just, I would like to hand over some information, and it's up to you what kind of conclusion you draw thereof. I don't want to argue with anybody. I hope that I made few mistakes in that series. I know of one I did. That was that I have presented you the books of David Nikao. Because I just did that to have a little bit steam off of us, so that people as you can concentrate on some Bible verses about this earth. But let me tell you that I would never do this again, because it seems like if I would recommend somebody, and I can't recommend anyone. And I'm not in line with his opinion also.
And yeah, that's very interesting you mentioned that, Michael, because I've thought about taking down the recommended channels on my channel as well, because I feel like, people need to do their own research and trust whom they want to trust in, and don't ask me, who I listen to and who I trust, because just like Michael, I think, we cannot put our trust in man, because the moment we do, we're asking for it.
So if I would do that series again, I would spare out these books. I would just tell you about that earth subject, that you do your own research, if that is of importance for you. In my opinion, I really do not care. Because there are much more interesting subjects in the world to explore. And I think that everything that God did was very good. That's what he said at the end of the chapter 1 in Genesis. So that was very good. So I know that the earth is very good. I'm not according to anybody who says that the earth is a place full of or so. Yeah, God says that everything that he did is very good. The problem is that mankind has fallen. So the earth is very good. The problems are the people, and not the people in itself, but the people in the Antichrist spirit. This is the real problem with it. It's not the earth who's got a problem. So this is not the first lie of Satan. You really see, I have copied that because I found that very appropriate, that picture. I did not want to have any pictures with people in it or a God figure, because I like to use the second commandment as it is, and I'm not showing any images if not absolutely necessary. So therefore I chose that, and I did not realize in the first place that this is also a lie. My. So the second lie is you shall be as gods. The first lie is that you shall not surely die, but this is the second lie. So do your own research. The oldest lie. No, this is also not the oldest lie. This is the second oldest lie, Brad. The New Ager, who believes in his own divinity and ability to create, usurps the authority and position of God. He is also still listening to the lie of the devil who spoke to Eve and said she would be like God or gods. Yeah, this is the serpent, and I found that picture nice because that serpent head is right there where people assume there would be a third eye, Brad. Yeah, so you have to do your own research. Our brother Hector supported and supplied me with that comparison sheet here about all the Bible comparisons or Bible verses, and it's far too much to go in it, but I know that we have a pure stream from Antioch, and we have a corrupted stream also from Alexandria, Egypt. And so therefore you see there are so many forgeries out there, and we do stick to the King James Version 1611. Might not be perfect, but it's close to that, and if there are some problems, you have to ask God. Yeah, we should rely on God's word. You can read something and you don't comprehend it. So what's the sense in reading something that it's not used to that you are not used to understand, or it is not meant that you understand it in that very moment. Sometimes I'm just busy with things that I try to understand and it's not given to me. So I then think, okay, it's not meant to be. In the beginning, I wanted to do these things about the giants, and it was not given to me because the file has crashed or is lost anywhere. I do not know. So it was not meant to be. So I'm doing the things which I think in the moment are just popping up in my brain, so that we can have some profit in it. So when I was doing the session, or we were doing the session, as in the days of Noah, Science Session 94, we talked about Matthew 24. And there were some misunderstandings in there because some say this, some say that, some relies to another author, which I mentioned before. And I'm not sticking to any author, I'm sticking to my understanding in it. And I know that Brad has the same ability to learn the Bible on his own, in his personal spare time, and not to rely on any author or any sermon or so. So I understand Matthew 24 as the things to come. You won't understand that if you are not aware of the third temple deception presented by Tom Frass, and that video is on my channel. Otherwise, I think you got the wrong explanation. I think that Tom is extremely close to the correct interpretation of it, but that's also just only my opinion at this moment. But you won't understand it. You will buy several books and you will say, oh yeah, he's got it right, he's got it wrong, if you do not take everything in account. And I would highly suggest that you take this session into your account. Can we say that, into your account? Or into consideration.
There you go. Yep, that's better.
Into consideration, yeah. Same thing is with the giants. When people say that, oh yeah, the giants, yeah, well, there were some sort of kind, but angels did never manifest a physical body. That's not correct. You have to look at Genesis when the angels visited Job. Yeah, so they did eat. Yeah, they did manifest themselves. So it's not up to us to decide what really happened there. It is just us to tell what the scriptures are telling you. And that's the only thing that I did. If you got another opinion, feel free to have another opinion. But don't insult anybody that he's not having the right Bible interpretation, because my Bible interpretation is solely my subjective. You will see in the end, when we have finished all the sessions of giants, and I think there are 2 or 3 to come, still to come, you will see my conclusions, and then you will really see what I was going up to. So sometimes it looks a little bit confused, but that's also why, because I cannot mention all my sources, because simply I'm a human and I make mistakes, or I'm leaving out something which would be very important for your understanding. So I apologize for that. Okay, so ye shall be as gods. They were giants, ye shall be as gods. They were giants, the offspring of the daughters of men and the sons of God. So the sons of God cannot be any ordinary man. In my humble opinion, Brett. So therefore, you shall be as gods. What I am up to, you will shortly see. We have talked about all these ancient Middle Ages doctors, physicians, scientists, magicians, and all that stuff. One of them is called Paracelsus. And Paracelsus has also some strange ideas about medicine. He says that the most medicine men, or the most physicians, are absolutely incorrect. Theophrastus Paracelsus says labyrinthus medicorum, so the labyrinth of the medicine man. So he says...
Oh, jeez. Seriously.
Yes.
That's the title of the work?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he was Theophrastus von Hohenheim, so lesser nobility, a Swiss physician, alchemist, lay theologian, and philosopher of the German Renaissance. We will focus on alchemy once again. And we know that the capital city of Czechoslovakia, or the Czech Republic, Prague, very beautiful city also, was one of the most head capitals or capitals of alchemy. Alchemy, therefore, in the Middle Ages was a part of mainstream science. So that's the same like, Brett, this pseudoscience today of Einstein and all this quantum physics. So what is it in English? There is no English, come on. What is this?
Yeah, quantum physics, yeah.
Quantum physics, huh?
Right.
But there's no English page about that. Yeah, great.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
Also, I think that alchemy in the Middle Ages is like quantum science or quantum physics. Nowadays you see that you can imagine everything, but you can't prove anything. Yeah. So the Emperor Rudolf spared no expense, building his own private alchemy laboratory to focus on the ultimate quest of finding the Philosopher's Stone.
Wait a second. Is that metaphysics you're trying to speak of?
Oh, metaphysics. Yes, metaphysics.
Yes,
yeah.
Metaphysics.
It's both. It's actually the same, but they won't.
Yes.
They won't admit it. Yeah, they won't admit it.
Interesting.
They won't admit it. Yeah, Philosopher's Stone. Maybe that's the mythical alchemical substance capable of turning base metals such as mercury into gold. Ah, my precious. Yeah, it's also called the elixir of life, useful for rejuvenation and achieving immortality. Aha. Brett, what's the title of the session once again? Ye shall be as gods.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's today's session.
One of the criteria of gods is immortality. I guess.
Well, that's right. Very good point, Michael.
Okay, dokie. So let's move on. So even these emperors, Rudolf of Czechoslovakia, he had a private alchemy laboratory to focus on the ultimate quest of finding the philosopher's stone. He also brought to Prague self-proclaimed spirit medium Edward Kelly and mathematician and occult philosopher John Dee, two renowned English alchemists. Why did I come up with John Dee once again? Oh, it's very simple. If you remember last session, John Dee is the inventor of the so-called Enochian language, or the angel language. Because of personal issues between the two, Dee eventually returned to England while Kelly remained in Rudolph's court. Despite his work and many promises, Kelly failed to produce any gold, and Rudolph eventually sent him to prison where he died years later from injuries he sustained while trying to escape. I think that can't be proven here, so that is Wikipedia. So welcome once again to John Dee and his Enochian language and all that sorcery and alchemy and all that stuff. That's metaphysics from the Middle Ages, Brad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and not by coincidence you see a Luciferian pentagram.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay, so what am I going up to is not to make a repetition here, because we know who John Dee was. He was a mathematics, alchemist, astrologer, hermeticism, and navigation. Sounds familiar, Brad? You know who also had these attributes, mathematics, alchemy, astrology, hermetism, and navigation. So leave navigation out, but you know who also we have mentioned, I think it was in the last session, which kind of a scientist? Isaac Newton.
Mm-hmm. Yes, okay, that's right.
So Dee was using an Enochian language to summon up spirits to receive the magic formula of turning brass, mercury, and what else into gold. And I know that Isaac Newton officially died from poisoning from quicksilver.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be just a coincidence. Yeah, but both of them were into alchemy. The centrality of mathematics to Dee's vision makes him to that extent more modern than Francis Bacon, though some scholars believe Bacon purposely downplayed mathematics in the anti-occult atmosphere of the reign of James I. It's very interesting, Francis Bacon, who is by some seen as the original source or the real ghostwriter behind William Shakespeare. And guess what Francis Bacon did for a living, or actually was. We will come to this very soon. Comes from Francis Bacon and the Progress of Knowledge. These are the tables, practical angel magic of Dr. John Dee's Enochian tables. From no one else but Dr. Stephen Skinner. I have told you before that he is very prominent in these occult circles. And guess what these Enochian angel magic tables also provide? I have copied some out of it. This forms part 3 of the Lemegeton of Lesser Key of Solomon. Tete. You see, we have our line of events here from Solomonian magic, because the Quran and other sources are telling you that Solomon, as the wisest guy who ever lived, I do not know how wise he was. I think he has 700 wives or so, Brett. He had summoned up demons who were helping him to create the temple. So that is the mystical tale that many pseudo-literature is telling you. And they are proclaiming that Solomon did this with a special ring and did it with a special ceremonial magic, and this is just only the lesser key of Solomon. The key angel magic idea derived from this grimoire, so from the spell book, was the idea of a wax table of practice, which no doubt helped in the concept of the creation of this holy table. Oh, holy table. Oh. Yeah, so what they are doing was there was just this inventing this Enochian language and trying up to summon spirits. That's what all the people do in the occult, in the night, and behind closed doors. Well, that is what you call science then these days. Alchemy is nothing else than to try to influence the nature, influence base metals. Yeah, what else that is than sorcery? What do you think that when the emperor says, I want gold, I want everything gold, yeah, and he has Dr. John Dee in his medium, Edward Kelly, and they were summoning spirits trying that they can change metals into gold.
Mm-hmm.
What's that other than sorcery?
Mm-hmm.
You see that Enochian magic is not only the vehicle that people believe there is something to it, because also Solomon used special spells and a ring and all that stuff, and this all cannot be proven. It is also not part of the Bible, so we have to question that. This is just the mysticism background for all the people that they can also justify themselves, Brad, that, oh yeah, we're doing nothing wrong because all the old scientists like John Dee and even Solomon did it. He was the wisest guy. So who am I to doubt that? Because these are just my role models. Solomon has written several books of the Bible, so what can't be wrong about it? But as they do not read the Bible, but they do not have a clue that so many things are being made up.
Mm-hmm.
When we are coming to Enoch, yeah, you see the different Enochs. When we're coming all these fairy tales about Solomon and all that stuff. And don't underestimate all these clergy people. Trithemius was a very important influence on John Dee and many other magicians. Ah, John Dee was a magician. Oh, Wikipedia did not tell us that he was a magician, Brad. Wikipedia told us he was a mathematician, an alchemist, an astrologer, a navigator. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, Mr. Trithemius, we talked about that months ago, Brad. He was the mentor of Heinrich, so Henry, Cornelius Agrippa, who wrote the 3 books of occult philosophy, a book that was probably the most influential and comprehensive book on magic ever written. He not only wrote a short but important text on the invocation of angels into a crystal, so scry, that's what John Dee did, but also the Steganographia, or the art of concealed writing, which doubles as an intriguing text on angel magic. Dee was so concerned to secure a manuscript copy of this that he paid a very high price for one. Now imagine that even Stephen Skinner in that book is admitting that the source of one of the main books of occult philosophy, which is nothing else than trying to find a way to the spirit world, been made by Trithemius. But once again, I pointed that out when we were into Agrippa. Trithemius, he was a German monk. I hope to find it in English, and I'm lucky. He was a German Benedict abbot and a polymath who was active in the German Resistance as a lexicographer, chronicler, cryptographer, and occultist. He is considered the founder of modern cryptography and steganography, as well as the founder of bibliography and literary studies as branches of knowledge. He had considerable influence on the development of modern occultism. His students included Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa and Paracelsus. Hata! Yeah, and when you then know that these books that Agrippa has written, these books of 3 occult philosophy, in 1533, he had been handed over that knowledge from the church, from that Johannes Trithemius.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, this is just repetition of an older session here, but I just wanted to point it out that all the source of information about this spelling, these grimoires, comes from the church. And is then attributed to somebody out of the church so that nobody is expecting on the outside that it has something to do with the church.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah? So we are clean. We have white clothes on here, so there's nothing wrong with us.
Ah, you're talking about a gatekeeper.
Yeah. Yeah, even Stephen Skinner. Everybody must come to the very same conclusion. You may call these spirits into a crystal stone or glass receptacle, this being an ancient and usual way of receiving and binding the spirits. This crystal stone must be 4 inches diameter and set on the table of art. This is a clear demonstration of the influence of Solomonian magic on Dee's Enochian system. Dee's stone, so that crystal stone, meant here, was set on a holy table. I'm not making anything up, you see. I'm just reading the things and I have to believe him. But John Dee has a holy table. Oh. A communion with whom? With whom? Can you imagine? He's not waiting for the Holy Spirit. Because our Holy Spirit has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with materialistic things, Brad.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The idea of invoking angels goes back a very long way to pre-Christian times. Even Jesus was thought by many people to have used the magic of angels to perform his miracles. You see, this is the occult book of Dr. Stephen Skinner about Solomonian magic and John Dee's Enochian tables. It is not the truth, thereby, of course. One early Christian father, I got a problem with that, Gregory Taumaturgus, wrote that it was commonly believed that Jesus was a magician. Yeah, that's what I always tell people. That's in the occult. Yeah, Jesus was a magician, and also the priests of the Roman Church, Catholic Church, are also magicians because they can order Jesus Christ into this small circular bread. He effected all these things by secret arts. From the shrines of the Egyptians, he stole the names of angels of might. Yeah, I do not think that we have to read any further than that. Yeah, you see, when they invoke angels and they are summoning, "Oh God, may clean our heart with us," you see, God has no copyright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can shout to the Holy Spirit as long as the cows come home. Yeah, you see, the Holy Spirit is the one who is infallible. It's an infallible spirit. Yeah, he absolutely knows what kind of a spirit you are. This is just the occult way. He shall be as gods by using sorcery to have to have a supreme authority above other people, because you have occult knowledge then. Yeah. A Pentecost sermon by Leontios of Constantinople from the 11th century is being quoted and attributed like, "Had not Solomon dominion over the demons?" Once again, this is mixing up everything. In the 11th century, the holy book of the Quran has been written hundreds of years ago, was known. And in that book, it's been said that Solomon did build the temple with the work of the spirits of the jinn. Yeah, jinn to be the Arabian spirits. Cannot make it up. You see, you do not have to know everything here. But what I just want to tell you is that it is a never-ending story after a story after a story of people who did not live, of things, of mystics and mysticism and all the stuff, of Cyprian, the mage, the magician, Cyprus, the magician. Yeah, and this is unto this very day. Yeah, a gentleman necromancer. Can you imagine that? Yeah, has nothing to do with one-eye symbolism, of course, huh? And these people are highly praised. These people are highly praised. They even got an own church. The Church of Light and Shadow. Yeah? Somebody of you who can imagine that shadow is not the one-to-one translation from the English word infernibred.
Say, is that Latin underneath the title? It is. Oh, Oh.
And we can have our translator here. As far as I know, inferni means the underworld or the hell.
Mm-hmm.
Has nothing to do with shadows, you see. Clavis caeli et inferni.
Doesn't recognize Latin then?
Also, so it is translating it in German. It means caves and hell, or caves and graves. I'm trying to
yes,
test it as Italian, maybe. Italienisch. Deeper cannot translate from Latin.
I can't.
No. So I have to try a source, Latein in Deutsch. Okay. So, aha.
Oh, man. Wow. The knowledge of good and evil, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Necromancer, what do you expect?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what do you expect? You see, the world is full of them, and these are so-called scientists of today.
Mm-hmm.
Because they see the Bible as the fairy tale. Yeah? So many people of covens, witchcraft, Wicca, and all that stuff. Yeah, they want to turn everything around. Once again, alchemy is nothing else than witchcraft. I told you that Roger Bacon has been attributed as a mathematician, and he was a Franciscan friar. What else? Yeah, so he was a clergy who wrote on a wide variety of topics, including optics, comparative linguistics, and medicine. Composed his great work on Latin Opus Maius for Pope Clement IV as part of the project towards rebuilding the medieval university curriculum to include the new learning of his time. While alchemy was not more important to him than other sciences, so alchemy, that sentence alone means that alchemy was seen as a science, and he did not produce allegorical works on the topic, he did consider it and astrology to be important parts of both natural philosophy and theology, and his contributions advanced alchemy's connections to soteriology and Christian theology. Yeah, so they are all into witchcraft. A Franciscan friar interested in alchemy. That's not all. In the 1317 edict of Pope John the 23rd, inspondent quas non exhibent, forbade the false promises of transmutation made by pseudo-alchemists. It's
Pope John Paul the 22nd, it says here, Michael, not the 23rd.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
22nd, yeah. It's
I
interesting you bring that up.
My glasses here.
Isn't that true, though, that there was a couple of different popes at the time of the ancient Pope John Paul the 23rd, and the more recent 1960s Pope John Paul the 23rd kind of covered up, just by using the same title, they kind of covered up that history as illegitimate. And it's interesting, Michael, that the popes take the names that they do, because there's some kind of strategy to that, isn't there?
For the 1960s, I think you mean Pope Paul VI.
Well, Pope John Paul, or I'm sorry, Pope John the 23rd.
Okay.
He was preceding Paul VI, and
okay.
he died in the early 60s, right? So Paul VI replaced John the 23rd, and remember, John the 23rd was the Pope that brought about Vatican Council II. So just a little.
Yeah, you're more familiar with that than me, because I really have a hard time with all these popes' names.
No problem.
Well,
yeah, no problem. I mean, I guess that's something that's always piqued my interest. That's why I know so much about it. And as soon as he said John the 23rd, I was like, wait.
No, sorry that I was
clarify
just
that for everyone.
Yeah. So
that there's a lot of history to the popes. It's not a small thing. It's very, very large, and it's endless information, isn't it, Michael?
Yeah, but imagine that the Pope is forbidding false promises of transmutation. So are there also correct promises of transmutation, I have to ask? And also by pseudo-alchemists. So that means that he believes in the correct promises of transmutation by non-pseudo-alchemists.
There you go.
And right. Also, what is the difference between the transmutation and transubstantiation? Yeah, isn't the transubstantiation also transmutation?
Of course. I believe that's true.
But of course they do it correctly, huh? Yeah. It is just a matter of belief. Yeah, you can't prove it.
Well, right. I mean, if you have faith in it, then I guess that means something, huh?
I think so. You think of a layman outside in a garden shop or where else. He's trying to tell you that, okay, I can summon up some things so that then you have your God in this oblate. Yeah, you have your God in that a small part of bread. Yeah, but of course you won't believe him. You would laugh in his face and say that he's a lunatic. On the other hand, if he's dressed in a certain robe and he's doing it in the church, then it's absolutely okay because he's got the authority. So what John Dee did was he tried to summon up things, to transmutate things with the help of this Enochian language and with the help of his medium, Edward Kelly, with the help of his holy table, with the scrying and with his crystal ball. So he was looking for the Judeo-Christian magic, astrology and Hermetic philosophy to get in touch with angels, and therefore from 1582 to 1587 he hired that medium called, or wannabe or pseudo-medium, Edward Kelly. From that collaboration the Enochic language has been derived. And he also was the one who is attributed that he was invented the phrase British Empire. Dee was also a cartographer, having studied with the great Gerard Mercator, who did very prominent cards. I leave it up to your imagination why I have showed that card. Because outside of this terra means earth, yeah, Brad, there is an extra circle around that. And when you then combine extra and terra, I think you know my idea. So 1548, Dee was being announced as the master of art. Then they were working on the Perpetuum mobile, and then they were discovering what is Edelsteinen jetzt? A precious stone, yeah, which has been said to have magical possibilities. Blah blah blah. Then he was being arrested under the rulership of Maria I, and because of practicing of black magic and witchcraft, he was being accused. Yeah? And this is his mystical glyph. From his Monas Hieroglyphica, this is everything combined. Yeah, all the symbols together combined. Yeah. Where is that? He was studying angel talks with different texts, also from Agrippa von Nettelsheim and Johannes Trithemius. Haven't we heard of Johannes Trithemius lately, Brett? We did, huh? A Benedictine abbot. Yeah. Who was influencing the books of occult philosophy of Heinrich Cornelius or Henry Cornelius Agrippa. Yeah? So even Johannes Trithemius, who was the source, a Benedictine abbot, was trying to get in touch with angels, it seems. Now the circle is closing. So in the newer world here with Harry Potter, in the 1997 novel Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone mentions the collectible card of Agrippa, means Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, who had written these occult philosophy books by the influence of Johannes Trithemius, who also believed in angel language and angelic texts like John Dee, alchemy, etc. Both of the video games, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, feature a collectible card of Cornelius Agrippa with his real birth and death years. His card is bronze in the second game. So you see that all these people in sorcery, they are into Agrippa, they are into angel languages and all that stuff. So there's a connection already. So Mr. Trithemius, that Benedictine abbot, he was refusing the primitive or the vulgar alchemy, but his ideas, especially his interpretation of the tabula smaragdiana, had an influence on the alchemistic thinking. Among his pupils there was Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim, who was in 1510 in Sponheim, and he was then working on his main work, the occult philosophy. Remember that Agrippa von Nettesheim was born in 4086, so he was 24 at that time. Can you imagine working on 3 very big books on everything of the occult in the year of 24? So I think that one of his main sources was that Johann Trithemius, so he got it from the church. The church needed somebody to promote these ideas who was not accustomed with the church. So that's every time. It's the same case with a different subject with Galileo. Science, therefore, is the most perfect and highest. It is sublime and sacred philosophy. Indeed, it is the absolute consummation of the noblest philosophy. Science, The question is, what is science? Everybody can come up with their ideas. And nowadays, our pupils in school, they are learning some theories of gravity, theories of evolution, theories of this, theory of that. It's of relativity and all that. It's absolutely BS. You see that all the time, all these important people whom you ought to know, because you do not know the real Christian people, most likely. You all know only the people who made it in this world. So they are busy with their occult philosophy and occult writings and squares and riddles and communication and all that stuff. Even Albrecht Dürer, and all these people. Agrippa, occult philosophy, Dürer square, Agrippa square. You see, these are all busy to explore all the secrets of the universe, and that has nothing to do with the Bible here.
Well, it has everything to do with our topic today, Michael.
Yes.
It does.
Dürer also was a painter. His series of 16 designs for the Apocalypse is dated 1498 as his engraving of Saint Michael fighting the dragon. Fighting the dragon. Nowadays, you see that the dragon is on its path. You see that all these people are worshipping the dragon, actually. This is nothing else but the depiction of a Luciferian spirit. This is his most famous painting, maybe. So all these riddles and magic and graph and all that stuff, you see, that's nothing against the Bible. And that's the problem. You see that all these people nowadays are prominently, be it Stephen Skinner and be it other people. You see these people are prominent today. These are the majority of people. They are in the Luciferian spirit and thinking they can be gods because they got knowledge of something, maybe also of magic, of the occult. All these people here today are TEDx events, also where Bill Gates also had spoken all this stuff. These people, these are PhDs, these are psychologists, parapsychologists, magicians with a long-standing interest in the magical application of mathematical principles. You see, that goes on and on and on and on and on. These people are these influencers, these people that are making the decisions. They are all in Luciferian spirits because they think that they are God. Almost every medicine, every doctor, every physicist, they think they can prolong your life. The Book of Soiga, or Adaria, Enochish, the Will of God, is a Latin documentation of the 16th century about magic. One copy of that book is in the possession of the Universal scholar John Dee. And then 1994 it has been rediscovered. Yeah, you have to believe it. Yeah. My English escapes me.
Oh yeah, you could copy and paste into DeepL, couldn't you?
Yeah.
That'd be fast.
Il libro di Zeuga o Aldaria in English. The Book of Zeuga or Aldaria, Enochian for the Will of God, is a 16th century Latin treatise on magic. A copy of this book was in the possession of the Elizabethan polymath John Dee. After Dee's death, the book was thought to be lost until 1994, when Dee historian Deborah Harkness recovered 2 manuscripts of it. One was found in the British Library, the other in the Bodleian Library under the title Aldaria sive Zeuga vocor. It is recorded by Elias Ashmole that the Duke of Lauderdale owned a manuscript entitled Aldaria sive Zeuga vocor, which had previously belonged to Dee. The manuscript was sold at an auction in 1692 and in Jim Reed's estimation is probably Sloane MSA. The other manuscript was donated to the Bodleian Library in 1605. In addition to the incantations and instructions for magic, the book contains 36 large tables filled with single letters that Dee was unable to decipher. During Dee's so-called angel talks, alleged conversations with angels that he conducted with the help of medium Edward Kelly, Dee questioned Archangel Uriel. Beware, he's not mentioned in the Bible. Uriel is part of the Jewish folklore. About the book's significance, asking for clues. Uriel's answer was that the book had been revealed to Adam in paradise by the angels and that the Archangel Michael was the translator of the book. After Harkness rediscovered the book, Jim Reed succeeded in 1998 in deciphering the tables with the help of a mathematical formula. That's a load to take in here. They really claim that the angels were handing over a book to Adam, when Adam, on the other hand, could speak directly with God. Oh.
Yep. Right.
If that is correct, Brett, yeah, that this famous and intelligent astronomer, astrologer, mathematician, also John Dee, believed actually in angel magic instead of reading the Bible. And you know absolutely what kind of spirit he had. He was blinded.
Right. Of
like
course.
all these people who want to play
Yes.
God.
Talk about dumbing down, huh?
Yeah, the holy table here. John B. shall be the role model for the Prospero in the Storm, or the Tempest, from 1622 of William Shakespeare. So John Dee has been seen as a role model for Prospero in the Tempest. I do not know. You see, all these people are doing it in the basement and all that stuff, alchemy. You see, they are just only material spirits in a material world, Brett.
In the cave, yeah.
In the cave, yes. Light and shadow.
Who else was in a cave? Do you remember the history of Ignatius of Loyola? You know?
Yeah, what I was just trying to point out is that they want to be something in the world, just want to have gold and all that precious things. And
sure.
Futile.
Yeah.
Futile. Yeah, you see, this is just repetition here, what we actually have been spoken about many sessions before. Yeah, magic circles and all that stuff. The Museum of Alchemists and Magicians in Old Prague. Yeah. Rudolf II was not known as an especially effective ruler, but he is widely remembered for his interest and patronage of the occult arts. It was during his reign that he turned Prague into the unofficial capital of the dark arts. Whether or not his patrons were simply charlatans wrapped in mystery or bold proto-scientists, the legacy of these magicians and madmen is remembered with the carnival flair of the Museum of Alchemists and Magicians of Old Prague. Consisting of 2 levels of display and tableau, the exhibits trace the history of Rudolph's alchemists in the city, especially Kelly, so the medium of John Dee. The main floor has displays and replica artifacts of the trade alongside such fantastical scenes as a failed magician being stolen up into the ceiling by the devil, while crackling sorcerers huddle around the glowing ruins beneath. The second floor, which claims to be the actual tower where the real Kelly performed his esoteric experiments, is decked out like an alchemist's lab, all 8 scrolls and stacked grimoires, complete with a half-completed homunculus, the ultimate alchemical achievement. Remember Satan's second lie, ye shall be as gods? What does the Bible tell us in the first commandment, Brett?
There you go. Ye shall have no other gods before me. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, including yourself, huh?
Absolutely, first and foremost.
Yes. Paracelsus is credited for the first mention of the homunculus in De Homunculis, 1529, and in De Natura Rerum. The homunculus first appears by name in alchemical writings attributed to Paracelsus. That the sperm of a man be putrefied by itself in a sealed cucurbit for 40 days with the highest degree of putrefaction in a horse's womb, or at least so long that it comes to life and moves itself and steers, which is easily observed. After this time it will look somewhat like a man, but transparent, without a body. If, after this, it be fed wisely with the arcanum, so with the secret of human blood, and be nourished for up to 40 weeks, and be kept in the even heat of the horse's womb, a living human child grows therefrom, with all its members like another child, which is born of a woman, but much smaller. This is the idea of one of the best-known scientists of the Middle Ages.
Oh, boy.
Comparison had been made with several similar concepts in the writing of earlier alchemists, although the actual word homunculus was never used. Carl Jung, so psychology, believed that the concept first appears in the visions of Zosimos, written in the 3rd century AD. Jung equates the homunculus with the philosopher's stone and the inner person in parallel with Christ. Yeah? You know what you have to think about all these psychology people. Yeah? They are worshipping psychology. Yeah? This is also another god. Yeah? If you really type in psychology, psychology is a scientific study of mind and behavior. Okay, look at this symbol here of Neptune, Poseidon, yeah? That means the god of the underworld. But you can have it even better than that. Look for Psyche. Psyche is the Greek goddess of the soul and often represented with butterfly wings. What else to say? What else to say? The homunculus continued to appear in alchemical writings after Paracelsus' time. The chemical wedding of Christian Rosenkreuz, for example, concludes with the creation of a male and female form identified as homunculi, duo. Yeah? Remember of the former new 10 commandments, the Georgia Guidestones? And I can remember that certain Crispinto came up with the conclusion that it had been made by somebody who has a background of Rosicrucians, if I remember correctly, Brett. And this is also, or was also, and will be erected most likely in another form, I think, the 10 Commandments of the Age of Reason. Yeah? What did I tell you? Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity?
Sounds like eugenics.
Sound like eugenics is eugenics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you see that the Rosenkreuzers, they wanted to have a creation of male and female in their kind. Aha. The allegorical text suggests by the reader that the ultimate goal of alchemy is not chrysoopia, but it is instead the artificial generations of humans. Here the creation of homunculi symbolically represents spiritual regeneration and Christian soteriology. Oh my, these are words you see that nobody else comes up with. Aha, salvation. Okay. So what's the other word? My, Brad, sorry, but this is chryso.
Yeah, that is really different.
Ah, this gold making. Okay. So let's do it again. The allegorical text suggests to the reader that the ultimate goal of alchemy is not chrysopoeia, which means gold manufacturing, but is instead the artificial generation of humans. And now this is just a very small step. Many people claim they have created some things with the ability to foresee the future or kept something in containers like the Masonic Lodge in Vienna. It is just a very small step to transhumanism.
Mm-hmm.
The homunculus also had been compared to the golem of Jewish folklore. Yeah, that's the same Jewish folklore bred than Uriel. Though the specific outlining the creation of the golem and homunculus are very different, the concepts both metaphorically relate man to the divine. Hence the name of that session. Mm-hmm. In his construction of life in his own image.
Mm-hmm.
There were giants in the earth in these days and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men. And all the world was corrupt. The flesh was corrupt. And that's what they are trying to do. Construction of life in their image and not in the image of God. Be it a golem, be it a homunculus. The word golem occurs once in the Bible in Psalm 139:16, we can look that up, which uses the word golmi, that means my light form. Let's look it up in the eSword software. Psalm 139 uses the word golmi, my golem. Golem, you see? Yet being unperfect, it's translated in the King James Bible. A wrapped, unformed mass that is as the embryo. Yeah, what do you think would be the highest achievement of people in the science? If they can play God.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And of course they will sell it as, oh yeah, we will improve your abilities. We will prolong your life. You shall be immortal. Isn't that what people would like to hear? You see, this is all the occult. You see, this is a man here in a magic circle with a pentagram on it. Yeah, they will sell it as, oh yeah, that's art, and it's just a man with his
Michael, you said mortal, you meant immortal, actually, didn't you? They try to sell you an immortal life.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
They would try to sell you the immortal life, and never-ending.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Of course.
And of course, they would be selling you a lie.
Yeah. Sure, like in the Garden of Eden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like in the Garden of Eden. So that nothing has changed actually.
No.
The serpent has said, he shall not surely die. So when something would be the highest and the best and the oldest lie of the serpent, it is not he shall be as gods, that is a lie in itself, but it's just second best. The best would be, ye shall not surely die, so the strive for immortality. And that's what people in the Antichrist spirit who reject Christ would like to achieve. Every bit, every possibility, every nitty-gritty, that they will not die, Brett. Because they like this world, they like this life as it is, they like this world, they like being in a satanic world. With all the entertainment and pornography, fast cars, and what else?
Do as thou wilt, yeah.
Do as thou wilt, yeah. A homunculus is a representation of a small human being, originally depicted as small statues made out of clay. Popularized in the 16th century alchemy, Prague, and 19th century fiction, it has historically referred to the creation of a miniature, fully formed human. The concept has roots in pre-formatism as well as earlier folklore and alchemic traditions. The term lends its name to the cortical homunculus, an image of a person with the size of the body parts distorted to represent how much area of the cerebral cortex of the brain is devoted to it. La 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 la. Yeah. We have seen that it is an incomplete matter according to the Bible. Olympia is the veneration of the human body. It's not brain for most of the time. It's just how fast can you run, how high can you jump. And the giants not in the Bible, but the giants in mythics, they were born from the blood of Uranus, sheared genitals sprinkled on Gaia's soil. They were enemies of the Olympians. Yeah? The Greek word was used in Septuagint to refer to men of great size and strength. Haha. So somebody who claims himself to be Mr. Olympia means, Brett, what does he claim to be?
God.
Yeah. Because Olympia means the mountain range of the gods in the Greek mysticism.
Mm-hmm.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1975 was the Greek god. Once again, it is not about intelligence here. It is just about the physical, material presentation. Mm-hmm. Although he made it very clever. It's not the Nazi salute, it's the Roman salute, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's playing a part in the agenda with the Pope. Arnold, Pope, climate. And you don't have to guess, you will know them by their fruits. You will really know them by their fruits.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. I was thinking the exact same thing the moment you brought him up.
Yeah.
This idiot.
No, he's not an idiot, you see. He will be rewarded.
Oh, he's getting his reward. You're right. Yeah. Sorry, but
I wanted to come here and say thank you very much for protecting us. Yeah.
Yeah, protecting us from the Christians, yeah.
Yeah, you see.
Or the Protestants, I'm sorry, the Protestants.
Yeah, the importance of climate change. Yeah, you see that, Brett,
Yeah.
the climate will change because there will a storm coming in front of the real Christians. That is the climate change.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, you see what's transpired here, Michael, is they expect the German people to take the brunt of the papacy's wrongdoing.
Yeah.
See, they're simply doing what they do best, and that is to, lay heavy burdens on men's shoulders, so that none of them will lift them with one of their fingers. Matthew 23. I mean,
yeah. Can you?
Mm-hmm.
I did not want to interrupt, but I just have.
Please go right ahead. You have every.
Can you imagine when George W. Bush was asked what he has seen in the eyes of Pope Benedict?
He instantly said, God.
And God what ordained in the first commandment what?
To have no other gods before me.
Yeah. So what else is there to say?
Yeah, that's right. Total blasphemy in your face.
Absolutely. It's so easy that a 6-year-old could figure that out.
Yeah, that's right. Blatantly obvious. Something is incredibly wrong here, Michael.
No, it is not completely wrong. You see, it is everything is going according to the script of the book of Revelation, and that's the thing that should calm us down.
Well, that's true, but I mean, generally speaking,
in a Christian way, it is absolutely incorrect, this word. Of course, it is fallen.
Yeah.
You see, you got the proof everywhere.
Right. But it's only proving the Bible is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And we should be grateful of that. That's true. Yeah.
You see, the little antenna here on top of his head, you see, he's receiving a certain program.
The little horn, Michael. Yeah, the little horn of Daniel. Yeah. That's right. He's got to live up to his claim.
So we talked about before of all these gigantomachy on the southern frieze of the Pergamon altar, or the Pergamon temple, or the altar of the Pergamon temple district in Berlin. Okay, we did extensively. So from Uranus means heaven, actually. There was once the seat of Satan, according to the prophecy that the disciple John received on the island of Patmos.
Wasn't that Revelation chapter 2, verse 14?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was 2. 2 was, yes.
Oh, there it is. You have it right in front of us.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and of course that must be protected. Every throne of Satan, every temple of Satan, every temple of pagan gods must be protected by the United Nations Education, Science and Cultural Organization, and what else it is behind that, because you see that is the veneration of images and idols. So, Babylon, Berlin. Yeah, we have talked about this. And what did we talk about when we talk about this Berlin and Babylon Berlin and all the Babelsberg, so the Babel Mountain movie studios in Berlin? The most prominent, well-known movie of them were Metropolis. Metropolis means an archbishop who is placed over a certain section of a county. And in Metropolis they did what, Brett? They had a giant machine there who was just eating up the workers there, Molech or Moloch. Yeah, blood sacrifices, human sacrifices. And what else did they do there in Metropolis? What is Metropolis famous for? Oh, one hint would be current. Power stations, yes. What is really prominently known is about Maria, and not the Maria that you think, but Maria the robot. Satanic, in the image of Satan, because you see a satanic pentagram behind it. So in Metropolis, which is a city, a county where an archbishop is in, they create an artificial human or an artificial robot, a homunculus, a golem. In the New Age, so 1928, you see there is the age of machines and industrial age and all that stuff. They did not create only homunculus, they did create a robot. Immortality, somebody? Transhumanism, somebody? The actress here, I think she was underage. She was here in that so-called costume here. Yeah, so this is a form of transhumanism depicted for a movie in 1927. Now we're almost 100 years after that. But once again, this is Metropolis. This is creating artificial life, like Frankenstein, Mary Shelley, who received it in a vision, I think it was. Yeah, this is the homunculus. This is one human Maria, and some things are being sucked out of her into that robot Maria. For me, it's nothing else like alchemy. The philosopher's stone in the image of Satan. Of course, she's perfect, indestructible, and she won't get COVID. Yeah? Ye shall be as gods. He shall be the inventors, you shall be the scientists who strive for immortality of the human body. Therefore you had to sacrifice your righteousness, you had to sacrifice your right hand, at least in that movie here. Which is nothing else but the role model for all the things to come. Star Wars, so that means the wars between the angels. So that's just a male counterpart to Maria. Yeah. So everything is according to is going according to the plans of the Book of Revelation. There we have a one-world religion, one-world government, and it's just a one-world government. It's not only the Vatican, it's Satan actually. Nothing else. Once again, ET, extraterrestrial, yeah, can mean an extra space on the earth which you're not allowed to see. That's also extraterrestrial. Nothing to do with coming from other planets. I had to listen to a recommended author, and he was interviewed about the sons of God, and it was hilarious because there are so many faults in it. First of all, the earth is not a planet. Second of all, there are not any other beings on any other planets because this is just God's creation on this earth. And third of all is just that Lucifer was not an archangel, and therefore I have stopped the listening to, because it is absolutely futile, because there are so many people out there who do not read the Bible but just coming on mixing everything together. A bit of a myth here, the Holy Quran on the other hand.
Yeah, Michael, there's something incredibly wrong with that, because in our history studies we did, I think, Michael, you were with me and Jörg Lissman when we were reading the book The Divine Program of the World's History. And in that book, we were talking about mixing the doctrines up. This is what the Jesuits do. They just put it all in a blender and, hey, have at it. And good luck trying to figure it all out. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cruel, but that's really where we're at in this world, is we've come out of this blender, and, you have to first, humble yourself. Don't exalt yourself, because, Jesus was very clear about that we should deny ourselves, pick up our cross, and follow him.
Yeah. But you see that what the Vatican does, what the Vatican does, unite to prevent, means that God is infallible, is not infallible. Yeah, his creation is not very good. Yeah, his creation is insufficient. Yeah, because also God has to wear gloves. So they can do another creation. They can put something in you, and they claim that it will help, protect, and serve, and all that other stuff. And that is transhumanism, what is taking place there. They claim that they got a substance, a magical substance, which is not officially known. You do not know what is in that transparent bottle that you are being injected with. And they claim you that it will prolong your life, that it will ease your pain, that it will ease any diseases, that it will prevent you from anything, protect you, and blah, blah, blah. This is alchemy. This is witchcraft. Even God has to wear a glove because God's creation is imperfect. That is what the Vatican is telling you. So they have to update it. Like Harari says. I will insert that video here because I have presented that yesterday.
COVID is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize total biometric surveillance. If we want to stop this epidemic, we need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin. We are really acquiring divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading humans into gods. I mean, all this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news. Humans are now hackable animals. Because this
COVID is critical because it convinces people to accept the total biometric surveillance and to legitimize it. If we want to try to stop this epidemic, we have to surveil these people not only outside but also under the skin. What we have seen, we are getting really divine powers of creation and destruction. We are really upgrading man to gods. That's what he's telling you.
Oh man.
So in other words, that's the same thing which is depicted here, that they have something that can upgrade the creation of God, mankind. Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's not. Yeah, so with pharmacia, with sorcery, witchcraft. Yeah? Pharmacia from medication, pharmacy that is by extension magic. Yeah. I will enlarge it here, Brett, so that you can read a bit of it. Yeah, medication, pharmacia, by extension, magic, sorcery, witchcraft, pharmakeia. So that's the same alchemy, and they try to create something in the image of Satan. To me, it's absolutely obvious what's going on there. And it gets worse here with Harari. Yeah. Yeah. And I said, okay, yeah, he shall be as gods. That's the lie of Satan. That is the German session here. I'm very sorry. Yeah, but we will fast forward it. And what he's telling you, he says, I mean, all the stories about Jesus, who has been risen from the dead and was the Son of God, yeah, that's fake news.
Right.
It has not been correctly cut it here in that video, but it's just, I do not have the original of it, so. Yeah, but it's pharmakeia. Yeah. So, what else is there to say? In German we have a saying, you know now how the rabbit runs. Yeah? So that's their plan, to manipulate the creation of God, to protect people from getting into touch with the Holy Spirit by injecting things which drive you nuts, maybe. Yeah, nobody knows exactly what's in there, and my hypothesis is that there are certain things circulating, so not two people get the same thing. Maybe they have different medications in there to try to test it out, and after they have succeeded all their tests worldwide, they will exactly know what they do. So we are in the age of the biggest medical experiment of all times.
Right.
Yeah, so everybody is making money on. Nobody is trying to protect you.
No.
Yeah, everybody is trying to make money, even out of your organs. Yeah, so they have to declare you brain dead to extract organs, because they can sell it then on the black market or just to anybody who is interested. Yeah, you can't sell dead organs. Yeah, so that's what we're coming up with the term of brain dead, which is absolutely BS, because nobody knows if your body will not function after a certain amount of time. Yeah, so that they are playing God. They will say, okay, that's brain dead. There are less brain waves detected, so let's get rid of all the stuff. Yeah, but first of all, we have to extract the organs. Money, money, money. Or material stuff, or alchemy, or Baal, or the golden calf. What you would like to do. Yeah, so. You can have a liver, a lung, a brain. Yeah. You see, this is a studied person. She's not dumb. Yeah. But she is clearly not in the spirit of Christ, huh? Planned Parenthood means to avoid any children. In Germany, we have a similar organization,
You're talking about eugenics again, yeah.
Yeah, but also we have a certain, in Germany, we have a certain organization. It's called Pro Familia, so for the family. Yeah? Pro Familia. Yeah, that sounds very positive. Yeah, so Pro Familia, so for the family it means. Yeah, so pro means for the family. Actually, what they are doing is contraceptives, yeah, and sorting a way out for the right time to have a baby, or to have a child, actually. Yeah, so it's against life. It's not pro familia. Oh, you have to plan it. Yeah, it's not then God wants it to happen. It's just you. You shall be gods. You shall decide what kind of baby, when you will have it. That's pro familia. My.
Yeah. I mean, you just look at the face of that woman you had on the screen a while back, from Planned Parenthood. And that pretty much fits the mindset. Just stare at that
cold.
Face for a while.
Yeah, absolutely cold. It's just only egoistic. Yeah. And if you don't have to believe me, or you have to believe us, yeah, you see, you can get to this video here. Side effects. Most people do not believe horror stories, but here is the proof. Aborted fetuses are used to produce these. I have to take care of what I say here. Yeah. Yeah, and Stanley Plotkin is not just one guy, he is more or less one of the key figures used as scientists, as spokesperson for the industry, the industry. More about him at the end of the article, Yeah, so Stanley Plotkin has made, I think, an 8-hour, 9-hour testimony against the court under oath. And he says he had worked with fetuses many times, science for the science, and we are using them for this kind of a medication, yeah, for these. Oh, he's storing at the moment. For this one, yeah, you see that I try to avoid that word, yeah. So fetuses are used for that. In court, not fake news, yeah. One random study has 76 of these fetuses. Yes, and these tissue from that will be used for this stuff. It's really disgusting. And what's really important is that he says, you see the time code here, January 11, 20, 18, 70, 30, 50, so that means 5:30 in the afternoon. He says, the Catholic Church has also issued a document which is stating that individuals who needed this medication shall have it. Yeah? Despite the fact, he said, that I think it implies that I am the individual that is going to hell. It's interesting, Brett, that he's mentioned the Catholic Church.
Right.
Yeah, that's a transcript of videotape deposition of Stanley A. Plotkin, State of Michigan, in the Circuit Court for the County of Oakland Family Division. Yeah, I highly recommend that video. Afterwards, you don't need any fact checkers or so, because this seems to be legit here. Yeah, this objection of the Catholic Church. That this is the original video, 9 hours and 1 minute. Yeah.
Wow.
Stanley Plotkin under oath, 9-hour full video. Of these objections of the Catholic Church is actually issued the document on it. I think it implies that I'm the individual who will go to hell. I'm not making that up. I cannot show it, display it much more clearer and right in the face than this. But they are serving Satan. He says, I am the individual who will go to hell, in his own words. What else to say? There is not a sentence that I can come up with which makes it more clearer that he does not believe in Jesus Christ as a savior. Yeah. So this is the handshake that seals the contract, like Depeche Mode said in Everything Counts. Everything counts in large amounts. Yeah, so you have the contract with the devil.
Yeah, Michael. So I was in a restaurant the other day and they were playing a song by Depeche Mode. And I never recognized this before, but it's obvious that Depeche Mode, by singing my own personal Jesus, reach out and touch me, is total blasphemy.
Yeah, they also have blasphemous rumors and all that stuff, yes. I have made, I think it was 11 sessions of Depeche Mode in German.
Oh, wow. We never touched that, I think, on
No, we did not do that in English, but I have so much interesting stuff of Depeche Mode.
I bet you do.
Shall I look it
thought
up?
I'd mention that because
I can look it up if you would like to. They would not sell so many records.
Whoa, yeah, that's probably true.
This is a 250-page script of Depeche Mode.
Yeah, they're sodomite too, aren't they?
Yeah, high on drugs and all that stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
High on drugs. I can't imagine. You see that. But you see that these are just people who are serving Satan right in the open.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sadly, this is the case, though, Michael. A lot of us that have fallen off of the straight and narrow path resort to using drugs and alcohol. And when you're under those kinds of circumstances, you lose your ability to process these matters because, it's back to the Bible script, right? It's the natural man. Oh, goodness gracious, look at that.
That's Dave Gann from Depeche Mode. Any questions?
Look at that. That's the lead singer?
Yes.
How old is he here?
Close to 20, I think.
Yep, that says it all, doesn't it?
And they have to sell their souls, Brett.
Yeah, they have, all right.
The song is called Sometimes I Wish I Was Dead. Plus the bonus track King of the Flies. You see what? If you know the Bible. A bonus track by Fat Gadget, so it's another group, but nevertheless. Yeah, you see, these people are also, these are just sorted out people. Yeah. Where to start?
Yeah, right. Good point.
Where to start? You see, they're all having contracts. If they are Dave Gann from Depeche Mode or Stanley Plotkin, they can't get back. Because then, most probably, they will get killed.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah, that's true.
So it's like this Goethe story of Dr. Faustus, who was then been made use of the help of the devil called Mephistopheles. Yeah, Mephistopheles means Greek, coming from Greek, I guess. To receive his goals, but otherwise his soul belongs to the devil. Yeah, and you see that he's Dr. Faustus. Yeah, you see, these are just these study people who want to make it big in this world. Yeah, and they're paying the price. They are following Satan. They are paying the price. They might be the leaders of a country or the world famous singer for 20, 30, 50, 60 years, but that's it. You make the contract. Yeah, therefore it is not unfair to assume that these sons of God came with a certain knowledge to then create these supreme races of giants. Yeah, they knew how to alter the DNA or what else in the human body. I can only assume, so I can't tell the absolute truth because I am not God. I can only judge from the Bible and all the sources available to me at this very moment, and I can tell that building the pyramids assumes that they got some sort of intelligence, and also having giants as their offspring, they can manipulate the DNA, or at least the semen or what else. So, that is my conclusion then. People who want to make it big in this world, they want to try to talk with demons or angels. Angels, you see that, fallen angels, demons, devils, or Satan himself. In the Enochic literature, they would tell you, and I don't know if that is correct, they taught women the art of deception by ornamenting the body, dyeing the hair, and painting the face and the eyebrows, and also revealed to the people the secrets of witchcraft and corrupted their manners. Yeah, it's all about corruption of the flesh in the Bible in Genesis 6. Yeah, and you don't have to believe that these this Enochic book of Enoch and all that stuff. Yeah, how many angel watchers and all that stuff is. But you see that all the videos I looked upon, they are making so many mistakes because they are not looking in the correct Bible. Then there it starts. And mixing everything up here, the book of Enoch and then mysticism and all that stuff. They were giants in the earth in those days. So the Bible confirms that there were giants as the offspring of sons of God with the daughters of men, which is not ordained, because God created man in his image after their kind. They should then get children, they should multiply after their kind. And if there is an interference bred of the sons of God, it's not after their kind. So in the world famous magazine of The Lancet for medical educated people, they also submit that there are lies, damn lies, and scientific research. Fraud had always been present in science, long before the NIH was handing out grants. Yeah. You see, it is these experimentations on human, yeah, this is just everywhere, but most people do not know where to look, yeah. It's devastating actually when you look it up, the sheer amount of science searching for a solution to kill people actually. Unit 731, known as chemo detachment, was a covered biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army that engaged in lethal human experimentation and biological weapons. During the Second World War even, the unit's estimated kills were between 200,000 and 300,000. Can you imagine that? I guess that 99% of the listeners have never heard about this. Experiments include disease injections, controlled dehydration, hyperbaric chamber experiments, biological weapon testing, etc., amputation and standard weapons testing. I think you don't want me to read any further here. We are talking about the Second World War. And according to my opinion and the opinion of many researchers, the Third World War is already in full swing.
Right.
So it's not a new thing which is coming up. And now you see this is the official explanation about it. And then I think you have to have all your sensors on high alert. High alert. It was officially known as the epidemic prevention.
And water purification department? Ugh.
Bioweapons.
Man.
I just delivering the keywords and you do your own research, okay? You do your own research. It's disgusting what's going on, but you see that it's not, United States is not better off or far worse than Japan or any other part of the world. Yeah, you see people in the Antichrist spirit, they have something in common. Yeah, there are no boundaries, no countries, no customs, no language barriers. Yeah, they have something in common. It's disgusting. In Germany, you had also the same or a similar thing going on. It's disgusting what's going on there. Yeah, even Louis Pasteur's notebooks, long kept secret, reveal that he misled the world and his fellow scientists about the research behind two of his most famous experiments, the V of a sheep against anthrax and that of a boy against rabies. And it is commonly acknowledged that Sigmund Freud fabricated many of the case studies on which he built his psychoanalytic theories in Korea. Yeah, they have all been part of these liars. In the case of Louis Pasteur, 100 years of medical research gets derailed. His popularized germ theory, the hypothesis that diseases are caused by infection agents called germs in the late 19th century. If you've heard of pasteurized milk, then you've been exposed to the long-lasting effects of Pasteur's work. Yeah, but his theory, up to this very day, there's a special channel, Spacebusters, who are really going into detail into this. This germ theory has never been proven. So it's just another delusion, another theory, like the theory of evolution, gravity, what else? It's always the same. Yeah, he gained his celebrity scientist position, or ye shall be as gods, yeah, by popularizing germ theory. Haha.
Light blue, right, Michael?
Sorry?
I would guess you'd put that in light blue, right?
Yeah.
Or green.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Witchcraft, yeah.
Yes. Trust me, I'm a sorcerer. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
In 2019, the global pharmaceutical sales reached 1.03 trillion. It's all about money. It's all about money. Okay, now you can finally read a Bible verse.
Yes, Revelation 18:3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. 4. And you can advance. Thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived.
Yeah, and the Greek word of sorceries is pharmakeia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is a lack of critical thinking. That's really the case. That's really the case. Everybody is just following orders here. Yeah, so that book reveals something. The Private Science of Louis Pasteur by Gerald Geisen. Yeah, that's the book. The germ theory of fermentation virtually implied a germ theory of disease as well. This implication was more rapidly exploited by others, particularly Joseph Lister and Robert Koch. Robert Koch, the guy who had to flee to Africa because his prevention medicine did not work but kill people. Yeah, Robert Koch. But Pasteur also perceived it from the first and devoted his last 20 years almost to it. Oh, this is very interesting to read here. But you see that nothing can be proven. It's just a theory which fits the narrative. Yeah, that's it. You get famous and you get a fortune and etc. if it fits the agenda. It has nothing to do with truth. It has to fit the agenda. By taking another direction, however, Pasteur revealed the enormous economic and medical potential of experimental biology. He developed only one treatment directly applicable to a human disease, his treatment for rabies, but his widely publicized and highly successful efforts on behalf of the germ theory were quickly credited with saving much money and many lives. To prolong life, yes. Yeah, there's also a German book about it in English available called Virus Mania. I can highly recommend it because then you got another view of the things. Maybe from the bird's eye perspective. I can highly recommend that book. I have that book also in my possession. Next time we will have, so to speak, the second part of Ye Shall Be Gods, and then you see my summary about it. Then maybe you can also then follow my conclusions. But thanks so much for your time. It's too much to go into this. We will have one final session on the subject of the giants and what's it all about according to my research, and then you are free to do your own research, and please also do read the Bible. It's been falling a little bit short, this session. I apologize for that, but I think you got the content here. This is just going on for centuries, and the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men. We cannot know if how they achieved that, but we know that they achieved that, because I think that by all the dispute, one thing is quite clear, that fallen angels, they have much more knowledge, real knowledge, than a mortal human with his very limited lifespan. These fallen angels are thousands of years old. So they got all their knowledge on their advantage side, on their side, as long as you do not study the Bible, and you can also get in touch with God in person by asking and praying that God will lead you to the truth. Thanks so much for having me. Thanks so much for my beloved brother Brett, was always been admiring of his clear speech and his fabulous talent of speaking the American language fluently, which I will never achieve in this life. And so handing it over to my beloved brother Brad. Thanks for having me, and Maranatha signing off.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, and same to you, Michael, in Europe, there in Germany. You know, I had visited Europe in, I believe, it was '89. I was over in touchdown in Norway and took the Eurail down to Germany with my brother and other places in Europe. I think we went all the way down to Yugoslavia, actually, and came back up. And it was a real eye-opener time of my life. And yeah, I really appreciate your perspective and your time that you've taken so much time, Michael, to study the subject, because it clears a lot of things up, and it actually puts together a lot of pieces to a very complicated puzzle. Actually, it is not so easily seen. It's a kind of a blindness that has been orchestrated by the enemy to keep us away from the true nature of, you know, the fallen world that we live in. And yeah, I think it's a blessing to have you, Michael. And I know that we're getting close to the end of this part of the series. And yeah, we don't know exactly what the future will bring, but God willing, we're going to come up with some new material for that, because yeah, things are changing. I'm not exactly sure what the next years will bring, but it could be that I will have some pretty dramatic changes coming up here. It's only a matter of time before things will progress in that direction or not. So we'll be, God willing, trying to catch back up with everyone next time. So hope everyone's doing well, and we ask that you study your Bible and pray to our Messiah, and the Father will be sure to bless you in his righteousness. Maranatha.